Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Dritte Liga. It's another exciting match day, and it is Energie Cottbus today, hosting Hansa Rostock. And you can hear the fans are in great voice at the stadium, and we are looking forward to a phenomenal game. Let's have a look and a listen to the sounds of the stadium as we wait for Energie Cottbus against Hansa Rostock. Cottbus currently second in the table with a game in hand, and Rostock just below half. They are in 11th. The visitors line up today with Benjamin Uphoff in goal, Rossipal, Guerlien and King Samuel Manu across the back, Rushka, Schuster, Pafane and Neidhart across the middle, behind Nils Fröling, Christian Kinsombi and Sigurd Haugen. And in their last couple of games, Haugen and Kinsombi have been very impressive indeed. The home side, it's Bethke in goal, Henry Rohrig, Tina Kampulka, Dennis Slamar and Nico Brettschneider across the defence. They play a 4-3-3 we expect, and that will be with Moka, Pelivan and Borgman in midfield, and a front three of Kraus, Copado and Halbauer. Well, it's been a mixed season for these sides, especially for Rostock. Cottbus, on the other hand, are having a phenomenal period of the season, so we expect them to be big favourites today, which they are, but Rostock have the ability in their ranks to really cause an upset this afternoon. The teams are almost ready to come out, and the officials will be leading them out any second now. And we're ready for a fun and exciting another 90 minutes or so of football as we get ready for the last couple of games on match day 18 of Dritte Liga. 3 games today. Cottbus against Rostock is ours now. A little bit later on, we're going to be having Osnabrück hosting Essen, and then at 6:30, or 7:30 local time rather I should say, it's Saarbrücken against Alemannia Aachen. But our focus today is on this one. Rostock visiting Energie Cottbus. Rostock have won 4 of their last 5 under their new coach, and Cottbus have won 3, drawing 1 and only lost 1. So in terms of current form, these are 2 of the top sides in the league. And Cottbus, as you can see, are on such a great run at the moment that their fans believe they can do pretty much anything. And who knows, they've scored the most incredible number of goals, this team, compared to their rivals in the division. Cottbus having scored 38 goals, only behind Ingolstadt, who've scored 42. But with 33 points, Cottbus are just 2 points behind Dynamo Dresden, who currently lead in the Dritte Liga table. I'll take you through what else has happened on match day 18 in Dritte Liga in just a moment. But first of all, we'll have a little look at all the mascots. The substitutes coming out as well. And the teams are ready for this game, and we're ready too. Kickoff is supposed to be, it's scheduled for past. Kickoff's been delayed just by a couple of minutes, but it'll all be underway before long. Cottbus in the red and white stripes, vertical stripes, of course. And there we go, look at that for a tifo. They really do know how to do fans football in Germany, don't they? This is the stadium atmosphere and the support that many leagues around the world could learn from a great deal. Florian Exner is today's referee. Obviously he'll have 2 assistants on the line and a 4th official, one of whose main jobs, as I'm sure you know, is to keep an eye on the managers and make sure they're behaving themselves. Moments away from kick-off then. But before kick-off, I will tell you what has been going on this weekend in Dritte Liga. Round 18, the early game on Friday, saw Dresden beating Mannheim 2-1 at home. Then yesterday, Dortmund had a 3-0 victory away at Stuttgart. Victoria Cologne won 2-1 away as well. And in fact, yesterday, in the 6 games, there were no home victories at all. Bielefeld against Unterhaching was 3-3. Aue against Sandhausen at Sandhausen was 6-4 to the visitors. Ingolstadt beat Wehen 5-2. And Werl beat 1860 Munich 4-0. So it's been a weekend for the away teams. The away team here, as we kick off, is Hansa Rostock. And it's Cottbus who start off with the ball. Back to the keeper. And just building nice and slowly from the back. Out to the right, a slightly imperfect pass, but it seems not to have led to any danger at the moment. Back again with the keeper. Let's see whether Cottbus can continue their excellent scoring form. That's a smart tackle, a heavy tackle, but I don't think that's why the game has been stopped. In fact, Coppado is down. Hansa putting in definitely some pretty big tackles down there. Free kick to the home side then, with the fans in fine voice. Really, really fine voice. It's been very congested so far in that right back area for Energie Cottbus. They try a neat pass forward. That is going to be penalised. Looks like the referee may even have been reaching into his pocket, but he didn't in the end. I think he thought about it. That was a pretty cynical challenge, to be honest. And a free kick, another free kick, further down the pitch. And Cottbus are starting to fill the area. That's a clever little free kick worked on the training ground, I've no doubt. And we'll have our first corner of the game. Nearly 3 minutes gone then. No early goals here, but an opportunity now. Left-footed in-swinging corner. And punched out unnecessarily by Uphoff. Ball in again, and this is cleared along the ground. Haubauer takes a shot. On target, but straight down the keeper's throat. And now Rostock can look to break again with Rossipol. Gets it all the way across to Fröhling. And they go back through Schuster. And then Manu, who was a substitute 2 games ago. And now Uphoff, who didn't cover himself in glory in one of the last games. And now Cottbus have stolen the ball again, and through they come with Coppado. Coppado into the centre, and Murka couldn't have a shot. Now it's Haubauer again. And that was a brilliant piece of stolen possession for Cottbus that nearly led to an excellent opportunity. Cottbus trying to cross the ball in again from the left. But Rostock playing it very dangerous in their own box, but they get away with it that time. And Neidhart was running forward, attempting to offer an opening for some of his teammates to find that outlet down the right wing. The right wing with Manu, Neidhart, Fröhling, and then Haugen up front in the middle. Could be a place where Rostock have some joy this afternoon. 5 minutes gone, still 0-0. Most of the match still to go, of course, but were it to stay as a draw, that would not be enough for Cottbus to regain their lead at the top of the table. Here they come though, again now. And another attempted cross in. And Kraus, Max Kraus, is absolutely livid that hasn't been given as a corner. I must admit, I thought it was a corner as well. There's no doubt that Kraus did, but he needs to be careful about the way he talks to the referee's assistant. Let's have a look. I mean, that so obviously should have been a corner. Schuster, I think it was, who got his foot in the way. It's a real mistake by the assistant referee. Never mind, on we go. Slippery pitch here. That's another brilliant steal of possession from Cottbus. And once again, Halbauer just couldn't get onto the end of it, but Cottbus looked very dangerous every time they come forward. Look at the bouncing with the stands. It amazes me that these stands don't collapse more often, to be honest. But what an atmosphere there is here. A fantastic, fantastic game with both sides on such a good run of form. Hansa Rostock, of course, have been on a terribly inconsistent run until their new coach arrived. But again, we're seeing that characteristic giving away possession that we do see so often in the third level of German professional football. Oh, a slice clearance as well from Betke. That gives the ball back to Rostock. And a chance to get the ball into the box. That's well dealt with, though, by Cottbus. They're not shy, either of these teams, about playing out from the back, are they? Corner, the first corner of the game for the visitors. And Neidhart it is again, on that right wing. And the Rostock fans are giving it all they've got as well. This stadium is absolutely rammed today. Super stuff, we love to see it. In it comes, and there's, oh, I thought that had gone, I genuinely thought that had gone in. It must have come off the crossbar, I think. It certainly should have been a goal. We'll see a replay in a minute. Nice corner routine, the ball still isn't clear. Danger isn't clear, it is now over the top. And Rostock with the first big opportunity of the game. They couldn't quite make it count. Here it is. Came off the upright, in fact, on the left-hand side. And there's no doubt at all, in my opinion, that Bafane should have done a lot better. Hopefully Rostock won't be ruining that mistake later on. But let's see, you never know. They have the ball back again. And surging forward. And that is another corner to Hansa Rostock. And if the last one's anything to go by, this could be Danger City for the home side, Energie Cottbus. Now, what will Rostock do with this second corner that they have? It's Rossipal taking it, in swinging with the left foot again. It's a high clearance and two Cottbus defenders getting in the way of each other there. Lofted back towards the box. Schuster, who's had a very interesting first 10 minutes of the game and continues to have interesting first 10 minutes of the game by falling over. It looks like a very slippery pitch to me, and it also looks like some of these players might need to change their studs, I believe. Cottbus with their attack snuffed out once again by the Rostock defence. Oh, and that is a foul. And the referee, I must say, so far has kept a lid on things very well here. Florian Exner from Münster in Germany. And that is an incredibly cynical foul. I didn't see him take his card out, but I'd be surprised, or I am surprised rather, that was not given as a yellow card. Play underway again, and Cottbus once again showing good patience. To the keeper, gets the ball forward, and this pitch is cutting up an awful lot. And it amazes me always that the coaches or some of the staff on the teams aren't testing that before the games and getting the players to put the longer studs on. Right, Cottbus with a real chance to break now, and that was not dealt with very well by either the attacking team or the defensive team, actually. That was Halbauer again, who's been in the thick of the action. There's no doubt that Halbauer and Schuster have been the two players who I've mentioned the most so far. That was a really neat attempt at something clever. It just didn't come off, and Halbauer couldn't get on the end of it for the home side. Here at the Leag Energie Stadion then, it remains 0-0. Ball in the centre of the park. Definitely a capacity crowd in here this afternoon. 22,500 it holds. And I'm in absolutely no doubt that every single seat in this stadium is full. Again from the back with Betka. And I'm loving the creativity of Cottbus. You can see why they're the top scorers, or second top scorers in the league. They really do have a way of playing, and that way of playing is fearless and forwards. And they don't change that at all. Halbauer again in the thick of the action. Well, both sides have lined up and are playing in the way that we thought they would. Rostock, the visitors, with a 3-4-2-1, the old Christmas tree formation, and Cottbus playing 4-3-3 as is their wont. Daniel Brinkman, the Rostock manager, really has had a phenomenal effect on the team since taking over last month at the beginning of November. As for Klaus-Dieter Wollitz, well, his Cottbus side have been flying this season, which is why they're second in the league at the moment. As as we've mentioned before. 0-0 here with 15 minutes gone. 1/3 of the first period is done. Half an hour left. And at the moment, you'd be incredibly surprised if this game finished goalless. I cannot imagine that there won't be goals this afternoon. Betke bears an uncanny resemblance from some angles to Edwin van der Sar, the former Dutch international goalkeeper. Long retired, of course, but a phenomenal career. The kind of career that Betke would be absolutely delighted, I'm sure, if he could have. He's a young player, Betke, only 21 years old. So you never know what might happen in the future, especially with a goalkeeper whose careers can be much lengthier, of course, than outfield players. That's the visiting fans, the visiting supporters that you can hear. Better again. Pressed this time by Fröhling. That's a super over the top ball from Betke, and that was the wrong decision. Absolutely the wrong decision from Kraus. There was clearly Capado in the middle, Halbauer in the centre of the area. That's it. Kraus comes forward, and he just didn't see Halbauer at the top, and he made the wrong decision. Cottbus again coming forward, and there are big spaces in that midfield. That again, a firm challenge. Back with Betke again. Betke this time goes square and left, and I think Rostock have started to realise that they can really cause some problems for Cottbus if they press them high and towards the area. Capado adamant that he was fouled there. Let's have a look. He was sandwiched between two. I mean, that's a certain foul, isn't it? Kraus this time fouled, and you can see that pitch is cutting up here at the Energie Stadion. And Kraus was certainly looking for that one. The referee more than happy to give it. Kraus is just doing some groundsman's work. Here we go again. Here comes the free kick in. Oh, that's really well headed away by Rostock. They've been pretty solid in defence, much more solid actually than Cottbus so far. Here they come again, Cottbus. And they vary things, Cottbus, the way they attack. We've seen long balls over the front, over the top rather, like that. We've also seen them try to play out of the back. Rostock give possession away again. Now Rostock on the left-hand side with Fröhling and Ruschka. And Bethke will have the opportunity again to kick long, which worked out very well indeed for them last time and probably led to the most promising chance for either side in the game so far. We haven't really seen clear-cut opportunities yet, but that doesn't mean it's been a boring game in any way, because it really has not. Cottbus. Again, they do take risks at the back, and they're taking more risks here, and sometimes that can lead to problems. Okay. Cottbus then will have this free kick, this throw-in, I think. That's Manu. And I think this pitch is causing an awful lot of problems. The players are just going over all the time. And that is partly a fault of the groundswork, but it's also a fault of the kit man who hasn't put the right spikes on the studs. Spikes on the boots, rather. Studs on the boots. Look at that red and white wall behind the Rostock goal, with Cottbus attacking their own fans in the first half. Of course, they'd rather do that in the second half. But Rostock won the toss. Rostock won the toss and turned them around. Rostock now coming forward again, and they're giving the ball away far too easily. But Cottbus, for all their attacking intent and their novel ideas, are not yet making the most of this situation. Big favourites, of course, the home side. But Rostock on current form, and have shown in this game as well, that they are more than a match for the second place team after 17 match days. This, of course, is the only game that's going on at the moment. We had 6 yesterday, 1 on Friday. And if you missed the beginning of the broadcast, incredibly, of all of yesterday's games, there were no home victories. I'm no Dretta Liga statistician, but I'd like to know when the last time that happened was. Cottbus again coming forward. Haugen, who's the Rostock centre forward, wearing the number 18, tends to have very quiet games. That was him running through there. Tends to have quiet games and then does pop up and score at crucial moments. And he'll be hoping he can do that again today, whether it's from the penalty spot, as he has done before. He scored in the 2-1 victory away at Munich a couple of weeks ago. That was from a penalty. But he hasn't scored for the last... he didn't score in the last game. There he was, though, with a chance. Bethke dealing with it relatively easily. And a player like Haugen is someone who could be quiet for the whole game and then suddenly just make that decisive move exactly when it matters. Actually, looking back at it from the replay, that was a very smart stop indeed, with his left hand outstretched from Bethke. In comes the corner though for Rostock, and it's really dangerous position. And from set pieces, Rostock are causing a lot of problems for the hosts. Long goal kick again over the halfway line from Betka. That one though dealt with. That's going to be a throw in, I think, in the favour of Rostock. Both sides with an average age around about 26. So in terms of experience, they're pretty similar. And the referee getting a bit frustrated with Halbauer, I think. Manu will be there to take this free kick. He's been something of a super sub, Manu, in recent weeks. Today, though, in the starting 11. And the 21-year-old has started a decent enough attack for Rostock, who get the ball into the box in the end, and Haugen is there, making a nuisance of himself. The final header, though, past the post of Betka, and it is still goalless after 26 minutes. The Rostock fans in fine voice. As I said, 22,500 fans in the stadium today. Absolute capacity. It's another long goal kick from Betka. Once again, doesn't reach its intended target. And Rostock do really well. Neidhart on that occasion. The run timed slightly wrong. From Fröhling. He was just caught offside. Good decision from the referee's assistant. And Betka can go again from the back with Cottbus. Super basis, Betka, for the attacking intent that Cottbus have. Red and white against blue and white, a really traditional set up for this game today. Manu is free and calling for it. In the end, they go back to Uphoff, who's had a very quiet 20 minutes or so. And again, the playing surface is disintegrating beneath the feet of the players when they're trying to make quick turns. And that really is not acceptable. Manu managed to get it forward to Neidhart. It was a poor pass though, and Neidhart loses possession. Free down the left for Cottbus was Capado, and now here he comes again, and it's almost on target from Kraus, and it just wasn't, but it certainly should have been. Capado and Kraus combining really well there. And Volitz, bit of a Jurgen Klopp lookalike, with the glasses and the short beard. Rohrig struggling to deal with the ball, and he slips over again. And it's not only affecting the visitors here, it's also affecting the home side. This is Kraus's opportunity just now, and that is incredibly poor, I would suggest, from Kraus. When he looks back at that, he'll be very disappointed indeed. But it wasn't at the very least on target. Now though, Cottbus have to defend another Hansa Rostock corner, which comes in this time with the right foot. And a volleyed attempt by Rutschke goes over the bar. Here we see it wasn't even close, but it was worth a try. Certainly no criticism coming from my part for Rutschke on that occasion. And we have 15 minutes left of normal time in this first period. Second against 11th, remember. And a good game so far. Not particularly high on quality, and certainly not high on opportunity. Becker again getting himself in a bit of danger. There's no need to take those kinds of risks, you've got to say that. Here they come though, Rostock again. Clear chance, and again not made the most of in any way. Kinsombi it was with the poor final kick. And this end-to-end game continues with Cottbus now coming forward. This is Kinsombi. He certainly knew that his teammate was in the box there. And Haugen, who was unlucky really, but Betke, he took a risk, but it paid off. Let's see what Rostock can do coming forward. The answer is nothing, other than give possession away again. So, now it's the home side Cottbus, again building patiently from the back, as they have done for the whole of this first half. With Slamar in the centre of defence and his compatriot Kampulka. And now there's a chance for a spectacular overhead attempt from Hagen. Didn't really come off that, did it, for Hagen, the only non-German player on the pitch this afternoon. Manu and Kinsombi have been combining pretty well down that right-hand side, but this time the attempted cross from Bafana, and that would have been great for Hagen had it gone in. Unfortunately, when it doesn't work, you do look a bit silly. As well as being the only non-German on the pitch this afternoon, Hagen is also the highest valued player on the pitch. And the total market value of Hansa Rostock is almost double that of Cottbus. Hagen again trying to get through those little gaps. And he does run around a lot, Hagen. Now, down the right-hand side come Cottbus then. Kraus again, and now Hagen, and that's again a really terrible attempt on goal by Holbauer. Not good at all in the final third. That was Capado down the right-hand side, actually. 4 Cottbus on the right-hand side. Capado and Kraus, who combined well. And they've released their red and white teammates pretty well on a few occasions. That's well held off by Halbauer on that occasion. If Halbauer's final product could be a little better, Cottbus would be in a much better situation than they are right now. But it's not a bad situation. It's unfortunate as the ground gives way once again. Manu, 22-year-old. In a few weeks' time. Rostock attempting to find Hagen again. And Rostock now just content to be nice and calm, play it slowly from the back. What they need to do is to stop losing possession as much as they have done in this first 35 minutes. Put their foot on the ball, exactly like that, and make those nice, short, simple passes that will give them the opportunities to break through and build a solid platform with Kinsombi, as they almost did there. Cottbus will continue to try to excite us, I have no doubt, for the next 10 minutes of this half and the 45 of the second. The referee, after a little bit of a pause, decides that is a free kick to Hansa Rostock. See it again. And yeah, can't really argue with that, I don't think. Pelivan in the centre of midfield for Cottbus, committing the foul. Kinsombi there. Also could have been fouled. The referee's letting play go on though. He's had a good game so far. And once again, Rostock coming ever so close to opening the scoring here at the Cottbus Stadium. And again, the referee will look at that. Should it have been a penalty? No, says the referee. Horgan went down. Not even particularly theatrically, actually. But certainly, you've seen those given in terms of penalties. And that from Horgan was a really cracking effort. Best chance of the game so far. And a second time that Rostock have hit the woodwork. And actually, I confess that I was wrong there. I think it was Horgan who fouled Betka. Not the other way around. Should not have been a penalty. Once again, good decision from the referee. Looks like he is going to be okay to continue though. Legendary goalkeepers on the, and players in fact, on the graffiti style walls here at Energie Cottbus. Nice to have good references to the past as well as ones to the future, of course. A big part of football. And we're into the last 10 minutes of play in the opening period. And both sides will start, I think, to get a little bit nervy. They will not want to concede at this stage of the game. Better again over the halfway line. Dealt with by Manu. But not dealt with well by Cottbus in the end. Here comes Kinsomba. And that is an excellent tackle in the centre of the area. Really good tackle indeed. See it again. That's a lovely ball. Kinsomba does well to get on the end of it. And Horgan again is racing in to get to the penalty box. And Slamar just comes across and blocks brilliantly that pullback from even getting anywhere near Haugen. Rostock then, who have hit the post, the woodwork twice so far in this first 35 minutes. Rostock with another corner. This time it's back in from Kinsomba, but it went behind. And it'll be a goal kick to Betka. And Cottbus will try once again the long ball method of creating a chance to score. Can't keep hold of the ball though, Cottbus. And that was a tired goal kick, I would suggest, from Betka. But here they come, Rostock once again now. So dangerous in the final third, and Cottbus not dealing with that well at all. Real chance now for Rostock to open the scoring again, and Haugen screams at Fröhling that he was free right in the box, and Fröhling making that bad final decision again. And Rostock should be 2 or 3 up by now. You wouldn't be surprised. Schuster out to Neidhart. Maybe might have got caught in the solar plexus there. But Schuster plays on. Cottbus falling over. They're all falling over. And they will go back to their keeper, Uphoff. No, they won't. Gurlian keeps hold of the ball. No need to go back to their number 1. Good switch of play from Rostock, and it's with Kinsomba again on the left-hand side, and Haugen is in the middle. And so is Fröhler. And Kinsomba inexplicably decides not to give his team the best chance of a scoring opportunity, but to go for it himself with 2 men free in the box. And that final decision, that final pass for both sides has been left glaringly wanting this afternoon so far, as we're into the last 5 minutes of the first half. From the left-hand side. And Cottbus, who were trying, no doubt about that, through Brett Schneider on the left. Let's see what happens here. Yeah, step on the foot. Tis painful when that happens. But they tend to be sort of 50-50 decisions a lot of the time. Betka again with the ball at the back. But they are so dangerous come playing out of their own area, Cottbus. They put themselves in such problems. And really, it's needless. And the referee's assistant steps in. And Klaus Dieter-Wollitz there is not happy at all with the way that this match is being dealt with. I rather think that the officials have had a pretty good game. They're letting the ball flow as much as they can. That's for sure. Cottbus fans thinking quite rightly that that should have been a free kick, which was given in the end. What can they do? This time, it's going to be Daniel Slamar who takes the free kick, but they go back to Betka. And Betka, that's absolutely dreadful. Straight to Neidhart. And Neidhart in, and now it's Haugen, who's hit the post once and tried a spectacular overhead kick. That time, though, his pullback straight to Betka. And Cottbus, if they're not hanging on, then they're not far off it. I think that Klaus Dieter-Wollitz will want to get those players in the dressing room and give them a very stern word or two at half-time, because there are 45 minutes of the second period where everything can change. At the moment, we're going in 0-0, goalless, after 43 minutes. And the referee will look at his assistant shortly to see how long we're going to have of time added on. But we haven't had any significant injury stops in the first half, so I wouldn't say there'd be more than 3 minutes of time added on. And Cottbus lose it again in a dangerous area. And that's a much better attempt, actually, by Fröhling. But again, it's gone straight down the throat of Betka. But why do Cottbus insist on being so lackadaisical when they're trying to clear danger? That was a nice swerving ball from Fröhling. A decent hit from the German. Betka's long goal kick, or long kick rather, did find his man. But again, we've had slipping and sliding and falling over the advertising barrier hoardings as well this afternoon. And still down. And I think we'll now have a bit of a break for the medical team to come on. It didn't look like a pleasant way to go over. He shakes his head at Capado. Okay, the Cottbus have gone. It's back on the pitch and back on the ball. Capado on the floor again. Referee says free kick. Well, with 20 seconds left on the clock until half-time, what a time this would be to score for Cottbus. Tried to take it quickly, did take it quickly. Wasted free kick from Slamar, and he knows better than that. Throwing down into the left-hand corner there. And we're going to have one corner for Energie Cottbus at the end of this first half, with a minimum of 2 additional minutes to be played. And Rostock know full well, as does their coach, Daniel Brinkman, that this spells real danger. Rostock may well have been on top for most of the first half, but Energie Cottbus fans know exactly what they can create from a set-piece situation. And here is that chance, and there it is, it's in. It is in. It's a goal for Energie Cottbus. They've been overrun in the first half by Hansa Rostock, who have come here to the Cottbus Stadion and have attempted to cause a huge shock. But in fact, at the very depth of the first half, Klaus Dieter-Wolitz's men have taken the lead from a set piece. You just had that feeling, didn't you? And Rostock have spurned so many opportunities, and Brinkman is absolutely furious because it didn't come from the corner direct. It came from a follow-up cross and a simple header across the box, and I think that's going to be given as an own goal, I think, in fact, against the unfortunate defender from Rostock, Gerlian. And they are complaining, Daniel Brinkman is complaining, that should have been a disallowed goal for a push on Gerlian. And I must admit, I am tempted to agree. But in the end, that goal has been given to Kampulka of Cottbus, not as an own goal. Looked very much like that should have been a free kick against Kampulka to me. But it wasn't, and Gerlian unable to keep the ball from going out, as Haugen gets another yellow card for his collection. And Haugen needs to be a bit careful. He's a headstrong player. He may be the top scorer for the side, but he does need to be just a little bit careful, because he is collecting yellow cards this season, and of course too many, and he'll be missing 3 games. Cottbus trying to come forward again, and we're into the 3rd minute of time added on here at the end of the first half, but the referee has looked at his watch. His whistle is at his lips, and I think he'll blow for half-time any moment now, as he does. And Cottbus go in a goal up at home against Hansa Rostock. No home victories yesterday, and against the run of play, you have to say, Cottbus are going into their half-time team talk with the boss, Klaus Dieter-Wolitz, a goal ahead, undeserved, but their fans won't mind. It's half-time between Energie Cottbus and Hansa Rostock, and we go in with Energie Cottbus 1, Hansa Rostock 0. Welcome back to Dretterliga Match Day 18, where our smiling referee is having a very good game here between Energie Cottbus and Hansa Rostock. Currently, the home side, Cottbus, lead by a 1-0. And it came at the very, very end of that first half, and it came against the run of play from a corner, or resulting from a corner anyway. A questionable goal from Kampulka, the central defender. I thought it should have been a foul against him as opposed to the goal being allowed, but Klaus Dieter Wollitz won't mind about that. Because his side will be going top of the table tonight if they can maintain this lead. Substitution at half-time, and it's the goal scorer, Kampulka, who's gone off. He's been replaced by Tolsay Sigerci, Turkish origins, and a direct replacement in the second half. Rostock in the blue and white, attacking from right to left as you see it, as Kinsomba. A very early opportunity for Rostock. The visitors penalised though. It is Halbauer who went off for Sigerci, I do beg your pardon. Actually, we will have that confirmed for you. There we have the visiting manager, Daniel Brinkman, who will be a frustrated figure at half-time, I think. His side really were on top. And yes, the graphics of the substitution were correct. Kampulka is still on the pitch. Halbauer is not. Halbauer replaced by Sigerci. So the goal scorer is still on the pitch, but Halbauer, who had made something of a nuisance of himself in that first half. He was very involved, but his final product was left sadly wanting. That's a good ball though, down the right-hand side, and Haugen, well, has been called offside. I thought the Norwegian was running quite nicely along that front line and then drifting left to collect what was an excellent ball actually from Rorik. That's Kapada, who had a bit of an injury problem in the first half, and he stayed down on the right hand side, coming forward for Cottbus, left hand side rather. And he also cuts a frustrated figure, just like the opposition manager. The ball though back with Uphoff. And Rostock looking to start this second half in the way that they played most of the first, which was on top and creating opportunities. But again they're called offside, and Haugen is not having a good game. He's hit the woodwork twice. But I must say, the last time I commentated on Hansa Rostock, it was exactly the same. Haugen out of the game completely, and then popped up with the winning goal. That time it was against 1860 Munich. I will tell you what's going on in the rest of the games that happened yesterday. Of course, this is the only match that's currently going on. Here come Cottbus again with an opportunity for a second. That's a lovely move, which was ever so nearly finished off by the substitute Sigersi. That was really well played by the substitute, in fact. So, reminder that this evening we have 2 games left to play. With match day 18 to be completed. And we'll see Osnabrück host Essen. That one kicks off in a couple of hours, before Saarbrücken host Aachen. At the moment, well, here's a chance to stop there for a second. As things stand right now, it will be Cottbus who are going back to the top of the table, regaining the lead over Dresden, who had a good victory on Friday. There were plenty of goals in yesterday's games as well, a 5-2, a 4-0 and a 6-3. At the moment, it will be Cottbus at the top of the league, with Dresden in second and Saarbrücken remaining in third, but with a game in hand. They play later on tonight, of course. Untidy in the middle of the park. Here, though, comes Fröhling, who should have scored in the first half, and he now nearly scores in the second half as well. And Hansa Rostock must be incredulous about what is happening in this game, because they've been so on top and haven't managed to get the ball on the back of the net. Referee says no penalty. And that's Manu who went down, it is. 21-year-old, certainly looking for it. Let's have a look again. Yeah, no penalty. Even if it had been a foul, it was on the edge of the area, I think, anyway. That's that second opportunity for Fröhling of the afternoon. Now, you might say that Bethke wouldn't have been beaten at his near post. That's possible. But Fröhling will feel that he had the keeper all but beaten, at least. Rostock, if they lose this game, will remain on 25 points. But there's still plenty of time left in this game. You're going to see a left-footed in-swinging corner from the right-hand side for Rostock. In it comes, all the way through, and out for a goal. Bethke has been the busier of the two keepers. And the Rostock fans, despite being, of course, very much outnumbered, have been the noisier of the two sets of supporters, in my opinion. Sigersi. He's had a good impact on the game already in this first 7 minutes of the second half, Sigersi, since coming on at half-time, as Rostock look to move forward once again down the left-hand side, and they did so pretty well, actually, with Bafana, and then a foul. Not a bad idea, but a foul given away on the recipient in Somba. Back it goes to Bafana again. And at the back, that's Gurlian, who felt so aggrieved for the goal at the end of the first half. And rightly so, in my opinion. Rostock. Trying to get back on terms then. But Betke is having a good game when he's been troubled, which he hasn't been much. He's doing pretty well in terms of coming out and dealing with things. See. And Kraus once again. He was in the thick of the action in the first half as well. Does well actually in the end to get past his opposite man there, Gurlian. But he couldn't get the shot on target. And we've said that a lot about the opponents today, the visitors Hansa Rostock too. Cottbus trying again, and Rostock stealing. Good interception. And that's going to be offside, I'm almost certain. But they're going to go for it anyway. Horgan. Oh, brilliant block. What a fantastic block to stop a certain goal from the goal scorer himself at the other end, Kampulka. Brilliant from the German. 25 years old. And a great afternoon. Scored one and stopped one. I think the goal would have been disallowed had Horgan got it on target. But now Cottbus can attempt to clear the danger and get the ball away again. At the moment when Horgan took his shot, the flag hadn't gone up. And Kraus is down on the ground and rolling. And there's a yellow card for Rostock. And it's gone against Rossipal. I don't think he can have too many complaints about that, but at the same time, I don't think Kraus needed to roll quite that much. Alexander Rossipal then. Yellow card this afternoon. And you can see excellent block, a really excellent block. No doubt about that. And you can see how much it meant to Kampulka as well. He celebrated that, not quite as much as he celebrated the goal, but he certainly celebrated it. So you get to see the substitute. Left-footed, in, swinging, and over everybody and over the bar. And you can see, at this level of football, managers must wring their hands and tear their hair up, because those are simple mistakes that simply shouldn't be made. A real waste of a free kick in a great attacking position on the field. Capado couldn't keep that ball in. And Fröhling harrying well, but deemed illegally the way that he was hassling Brett Schneider by the referee's assistant. An attempted long free kick. And Fröhling, he doesn't have to try some things out there in the game, as Manu at right back goes right back to his keeper. But Cottbus come away with the ball again. They lose it now. And that's a speculative ball towards Uphoff. Kampulka, the man of the hour for sure, as we approach the hour mark actually in this game. Here they come, down that left-hand side. The home side Cottbus in front of 25,000 fans here at the IMAG Energy Stadium. Rostock have come out in this second half much more controlled than they were in the first, I would say. And we're going to see a first substitution of the afternoon for Rostock. Remember, they are that goal down, but it did come significantly against the run of play. So there's absolutely no need to panic for the visitors today. We talked about how their squad was far more expensively assembled, but in the end, those statistics don't matter a jot. The only one that matters is the one at the top of your screen that says they are currently a goal down. And here come Cottbus again with the substitute Sigersi. And Copado straight into the hands of Uphoff in the Rostock goal. Down the left-hand side then with Rushka go Rostock, and he just can't get on the end of that. But it wasn't far away. It was the attempt by Copado, who's had a busy few minutes as well. And we're going to see a substitution, one substitution per side, I think. And Manu, who has looked a little bit lost out there, comes off. So, number 14, Adrian Lebau, comes on for Manu. And Rostock in again here. And that was the substitute, Lebau. And it was just ever so slightly too far ahead of Neidhart. The weight on the pass wasn't perfect, but it certainly wasn't awful either. So Manu has been replaced by the number 14, Adrian Lebau. The only other substitution we've had so far, Halbauer, a half-time substitution for the home side, being replaced by the number 10, Sigersi, who's been on the ball quite a lot already. And in fact, is right there in the thick of things in the Hansa Rostock penalty box. Here's Copado again. Sigersi once again looking to get on the end of it. But Kinsombi, who's now in the centre of the park for Rostock, steals it. And now the blue and white stripes have men forward and in promising positions, but they couldn't make anything of it. So they go back to where they're most comfortable, in the middle of the park. Now could this open up for Kinsombi if he can get past, which he couldn't, but had he managed to get past Slamar, then things may have opened up for him. Sigersi will attempt to recover the ball here and almost does, but Gurlian got it away, but not the safety. Copado, who's been a big part of this second half already, and that's a really good defensive tackle from Gurlian, who still feels aggrieved that he wasn't given a foul as the goal went in. And that is absolutely perfectly timed. Get that wrong and it's a certain penalty. And at the other end, that was Slamar, making a really big difference with his experience in the centre of the park. Cottbus on the left-hand side with Brett Schneider with the attacking throw-in. Well dealt with by Neidhart. And now Rostock, unfortunately, only have two men ahead on the right-hand side, nobody in the middle. They're too cluttered, too clustered, and there's no out ball for their midfield players, but they've lost it, and that's offside. That's going to be offside against Horgan. Yes, it is. Flag goes up. And that's a good decision by Rostock, by the referee's assistant against Rostock. Horgan not timing his runs perfectly this afternoon by any means. Cottbus going forward. Can they get a second? If that goes in, that is an absolute scorcher. What a goal. What a goal from Kraus. And it's no less than he's deserved, because Kraus has been in the thick of the action all afternoon. And that really is excellent play from Kraus. And he deserves no less than a goal. The number 23 has been a menace, a real menace this afternoon. The 28-year-old German. And that's an exceptional finish. We'll see that. We'll see that a few times over. That will be on the highlights reel. Let's see it again. And it's Kampulka again who scored the first goal, stopped the second, and look at this little lob. What a goal. That shows an amazing amount of football intelligence. Let's see it again. What a goal from Kraus. That's not easy at all. Not at all easy. Brilliant play from Kraus, and Cottbus are 2-0 up, having looked like they could be 3-0 down in the first half. Super stuff from the 28-year-old. And Cottbus will have the wind in their sails now. And more than that, Rostock will have to come out and push forward. Kraus went over in the box looking for a penalty. Rostock get it clear though. Not really. Again, they've lost possession. And Cottbus now are looking to attack. They're looking to push home this momentum that they have. Back with Pelivan. And through to Capado once again. And Capado could take a shot on himself. No fouls, as the referee. Rostock look to break, but there aren't enough men forward. There's only Horgan, as there tends to be, that lone striker. And I think Daniel Brinkman is going to have to change something here. The young manager. And Capado again. And Cottbus playing some neat football, and that would have been another absolute cracker of a goal had Borgman managed to get that on target. And we have 24 minutes left for Rostock to somehow claw back 2 goals. And I don't know about Klaus-Dieter Wollitz, but if this is how his side Cottbus have been flying so high this season in the league, then it's working. But it's also a very white-knuckle ride for the fans. At the moment, Rostock is sticking with the formation they've got. They might have pushed one midfielder slightly higher up. Here's Kraus, and he should have crossed it to Sigersi. He's made some very bad decisions, Kraus, in the final third for Cottbus, but he's redeemed himself with that extraordinary lob. That was a goal that a player in a much higher level of competition would have been proud of. Now Capado again. And he'll have a go, I think. No, he won't. He tries to do the right thing and get it across to Sigersi. But actually, on that occasion, he probably should have had a shot himself. Cottbus are really looking to push home this advantage. And of course, they need to be slightly careful as Rohrig gets back on the ball here. He'll be tempted to have a go, there's no doubt about that. Sigersi through to Capado, and that could be the third. It is the third. And that's brilliant from Cottbus. Absolutely brilliant. Capado gets in on the act, and it's 3-0 to Energie Cottbus. They will be top of the league again tonight. And with 68 minutes gone, Capado makes it 3, Rostock 0. And I don't think Uphoff can quite believe what's happened here, because in the first half, Rostock should have been out of sight themselves, And now they find themselves 3-0 down in a match which they dominated for 45 minutes. And Rorik did well, Sigersi did really well, step on the ball and the perfect pass, and Capado with the finishing touch with his left foot makes it 3-0 to the home side. And I don't think there's any way back for Rostock now. Really, really clever play from 3 players. Rory, the substitute Kisago, and then a fine finish from Capado, and you can see what it means to the coaching staff. And no wonder that the Cottbus fans were absolutely bouncing at the beginning of this game. 25,000 fans in the stadium, the majority of them, of course, the home fans. And Schumacher has come on. Confirm that substitution for you in just a moment. But wow, what a second half we've already had from Energie Cottbus, showing their title credentials, no doubt about that. Rostock, though, could they get one back quickly here? Schumacher. And Betka takes it acrobatically and safely. And the man in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen there, Kampulka, has had one hell of an afternoon. Still don't have confirmation of that substitution. I can tell you that Schumacher's come on, but I'm not sure yet who came off. We will let you know as soon as we know. "20 minutes left, and Rostock, their fans must be as confused as the rest of us about how this scoreline looks as it does in the top left of your screen. 3-0 to Cottbus, and if you watch the first half and then come back in now, I can assure you it's not a mistake. That is actually the score. And the goals, well, the second two have both been superb. Kraus now on the other side, and Capado was again in the middle, and it wasn't far away from a good defensive block. Here come Rostock. But they're having to go backwards because the energy levels of Energie Cottbus have gone up. Another long pass attempted. That came to nothing, I'm afraid. That was from the substitute Schumacher. And the central defensive partnership of Cottbus has been very, very good. Sigersi trying a Hollywood pass out to Capado, but not managing it. Here come Rostock. Down the right-hand side and attempting to build with Neidhart and Kinsombi. And now that's a through ball to Schumacher, the substitute, which was offside, I think. And they have had a lot of offside calls against them, Rostock. Usually it's been Horgan who's been the culprit. But on this occasion, for the second time, it was Schumacher, who's only just come on. Great stuff, look at that from the fans. Really fun place to watch football, this stadium. Not the biggest in the league, but I think it's the noisiest that I've experienced, along with Dynamo Dresden perhaps. So it was Felix Ruschka who came off in the end for Kevin Schumacher. Took a long time for us to confirm that. I do apologise. Look at that, brilliant. This is what lower league football is all about. It's more than football, it's tribal. And Kinsombi also is off with Ryan Naderi. And Christmases have come all at once here. So Naderi, a straight swap for Zombie, sorry. 3 substitutions made so far by the visitors. Some of these little tricks that the Rostock players are trying have almost come off brilliantly. Horgan it was on that time. He tried a little roulette, Zidane style. And going down, holding his face there. I think he looks okay. That was Horgan's little roulette. It didn't work. And Kampulka again was there to snuff it out and clear the ball out of danger. 15 minutes left for Rostock. And 15 minutes left for Cottbus to hold on, which it very much looks like they will do. Slightly worrying that Pafana has been down for so long. It looked fairly innocuous, didn't it? The Rostock fans, though, haven't stopped singing throughout the afternoon. It's getting some cold there on Pafana's right eye, which looks like where he got caught. Bit of cold metal. You can see it's already come up there. That's a shiner that he's got. And I don't think he'll be able to continue, Pafana, with one eye not really working. The last thing that Daniel Brinkman wants, as they're chasing the game so much, is for a player to only have one eye. So an enforced substitution will be made in a few moments' time, I think, as Kampulka once again starts things from the back. Slamar, the experienced centre-back partner of the first goal scorer. And Copado. And that's well played again by Cottbus. Now they come forward. And the run had been continued. It's going to be 4. Is it going to be 4? It isn't. Not yet anyway. But that was not at all a bad opportunity for Brett Schneider, who'd come all the way up from the left-back position and found himself, probably with air sickness, up there at the penalty box. On we go then. And Cottbus playing now with such confidence. That's the substitute, Sigerci. And Copado going for something very special indeed that didn't come off, but this is the chance earlier on. That's Brett Schneider up there, and I think it may have taken a small deflection, that final shot. Did it? No, it didn't. It was clean and it was good, and Uphoff did well to keep it out. Right, substitutions, more coming for the visitors Rostock. Djonjic is coming on. And Fröhling is coming off. Fröhling for Jan Mejder. Well, in fact, as they put it up, Horgan coming off. Well, that is a slight that he will not enjoy. Horgan off, but Fröhling, as I mentioned, off for Matchday. And for Cottbus, Jukel is on for Moka. Moka, who hasn't done much in the game. And so Yanis Jukel is on. Cottbus again looked to have the keeper's nowhere, and Sigersi can't get it through that bunch of blue and white shirts in the area. 10 minutes remaining of normal time in this game. Rorik has also been replaced by Hansa at right back. And now we're entering the final 10 minutes, which will be a very strange 10 minutes of football, as it always is when a match is already won. Confirmation that Djonjic has replaced Horgan. And Gurlian back to his keeper, Ophoff. He goes back to Gurlian again on the left-hand side. And Rostock taking a lot of risks. And Sigersi, who's playing centrally, by the way. Capardo has gone out to the left. When Sigersi came on for Halbauer, Capardo went out to the left. And you've got to say, it made a huge difference. After that substitution was made, we saw 2 quick-fire goals. The second from Kraus, the third from Capardo. And at the very least, when you watch the highlights of this game, you'll have 3 goals to watch. 2 of them real classics for this level of football. And Rostock again, just playing fast and loose with the ball in areas where they just don't need to do that. Jukel was down the right-hand side there, with Kraus up ahead of him. And now it's Hansa, the latest of the substitutes, who came on for Rorik a few minutes ago. And Capardo is something of a talent, isn't he? Found himself popping up on the right wing there, although he's free again and with the ball now on the left. Switches play much higher than he needs to, but still a good idea. Hansa. Now Bafenet, replaced by Matchday, which we said earlier on. And Sigersi. And the whistles are not coming from the referee. It's confusing sometimes when we hear those. And the ball's won fairly by Jukel and Capardo. And the frustration of the Rostock players is very clear for all to see. On that occasion, that was Lebau, the first substitute to be made by Rostock, by Daniel Brinkman. And with 45 minutes gone in the first half, Brinkman would have been very satisfied with the way in which his team had played. He wouldn't have been satisfied with the final product because there were no goals from all their chances. And Sigersi gets on the ball, again the substitute, or very nearly anyway. Pelivan, who had passed that ball through to him. And and wasn't far away at all. As we see Matchday involved very early. And that's well played by Cottbus. That is Matchday. He's a bulk of a man, isn't he? And Sigersi was the first substitution to be made by Cottbus when Halbauer come off. And as I said, he's had a big impact on the game in this second half. Back with Uphoff then, and at this stage Rostock can't salvage any points, and they can't really salvage any pride either, but they need to take into their next game their performance in the first half, because it was impressive. As Sigersi gets the ball eventually through and out with Brett Snyder in the middle, and there's Brett Snyder again, and Capado over the top. Well played by Brett Snyder. Sigersi provided that initial chance. Brett Snyder coming in on the ball now on the replay. And Capado actually should have done better, but it's going to be a corner. Bleached blonde hair of the 20-year-old Capado. He's already seen one of his shots go in, one just off the post, or near enough. Sigersi's corner goes in. It's a decent corner. And he'll have another chance. That time, Rossipal it was, who is on a yellow card, but managed to get the ball clear of danger. And let's see Sigersi again. Another chance for the left foot of Sigersi. This one's nowhere near as good. And in any case, there was a foul in the box. And it'll be a free kick from within their penalty area for Hansa Rostock. And Daniel Brinkman, with his foot on the ball in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen, has nothing that he can do about this. You'd watch the websites with the scores on. You'd see 3-0 to Cottbus, top of the league, and you'd think this was a walk in the park for the home side. It certainly was not in the first half. Rostock with the ball across, and there is a goal back at the very least. It isn't enough, and it's too little, and it's too late. And they all know that. Nonetheless, the sort of goal that Rostock should have been scoring in the first half. That's come from Matchday and scored by Naderi. So two substitutes combining. And if only they could have found that kind of final ball in the first half, they would have been out and ahead before half-time. And for all that Naderi might want to speed things up now, there really is such a small percentage opportunity or chance or likelihood of them getting two more goals in the last 2 minutes. And Daniel Brinkman will be furious that they weren't able to do in the first half what they've just done with 3 minutes left of the second. Because Cottbus will come away with victory today, but it could very easily have been a very different story. Into the last 2 minutes, and we have had some stoppages in this second half for injuries, but I don't think it'll be too bad. We did have the eye injury, a real black eye, a real bruiser, a real shiner that saw Pafana go off for Mesda, as Rostock continue to hassle and harry. And now comes Brett Schneider down the right-hand side. He's had a really good second half, Brett Schneider. And Capado and Sigersi are both in the box. Pull it back. It's not gone in. And that was not the right decision. Capado was free on the penalty spot. It was a good enough cross. You have to say that. From Borgman. But it didn't have the desired effect. Here, though, once again comes Naderi. And that's very well blocked indeed by the scorer of Cottbus' second goal, Kraus. And Naderi was attempting to do almost exactly the same thing that Kraus had done at the other end of the pitch and wasn't able to do it. Max Kraus. Possibly a final corner for Rostock in the game, let's see. Substitute Lebau is going to take it. High and out swinging in the centre and cleared off the line by Cottbus. I think that was Slammer, the experienced centre-back, who managed to get that out. But again, that could have been so very, very different. Repetition of the same corner routine then. And this time Rostock can't do much. And Neidhart attempting a left-footed rocket. And we're half a minute into time added on here. We haven't had confirmation of how many minutes there will be. And here's Sigersi, the substitute. Into centre field for Cottbus. And there's plenty of space on the left-hand side, but Sigersi gets it back down the right. And now it's Ukel, another substitute, and that goes through. Capado can't get onto the end of it, and we have 4 minutes left of time added on at the end of this match. Now it's Schumacher. And the options aren't there for him that he wants. He wants to progress the ball forward. And he's not finding himself able to do that because there's very little movement from the players in the blue and white stripes up ahead of him. And with no movement, there's no space. With no space, there's no pass. Neidhart looking for Mesda again. And Naderi wins another corner. And that was the excellent covering tackle from Kraus to prevent Naderi from scoring his second goal. And he may even have had another one just now. And there'll be another chance for Rostock from a corner on the right-hand side. Now a goal from here, with still 3 or so minutes left, but they can't, Rostock can't get the ball on target. And obviously, we're going to see no rush at all for Elias Betke to take this goal kick. And in fact, Cottbus are going to make another substitution late on. Osterweg is going to come on. And the player he'll be replacing will get a standing ovation, I have no doubt at all. And that is Capado, excuse me. And Lucas Capado had a quite brilliant 20-minute period or so, and now has left the pitch. Free kick for Rostock. There's a minute and a half left, maybe 2 minutes. And Schuster just saying, everyone get forward, and telling Lebau to just pump the ball into the box. But it could be an interesting last minute of the game. If Rostock were able to score from here, the ball is lofted forward and it's free in the area with Matchday, but he was offside, so that wasn't going to lead to anything. Elias Betke, once again, will take his time here, no doubt about that. But that big right boot of his will launch the ball forward. And Rostock try to do the same. Matchday and the dairy. Constant threats, constantly looking for ins and outs. And Kaiser will come on shortly. And this time it's Max Kraus who's going to get his well-deserved ovation as well. And listen to the crowd as Max Kraus comes off. He's had some afternoon, this man. His name shouted by the fans, screamed out as the stadium announcer reads out his first name. Rostock with a ball lofted into the area. Referee looks at his watch. Here they come again. And once again, Hansa clears the ball, and then an unnecessary shove. Last few seconds of the game. Rostock, who will leave with nothing from the Cottbus Stadium. But we'll have one last foray forward from Matchday, but that is game, set and match to Energie Cottbus. They were outplayed, outrun and out-statistics in the first half, but somehow they went in one goal up, with the goal scored in time added on at the end of the first period. They came out a different group of men in the second, and they scored twice through Kraus and Capardo before one back from Naderi for the visitors Rostock. But an up and down, a topsy-turvy roller coaster of a game, much like both these teams' seasons. But Energie Cottbus go back to the top of the league, having beaten the visitors Hansa Rostock 3-1.